Hello Internet, and in this video I'm going to be looking back at the year. Did I win? Did I lose? Am I happy with what I did? Who knows? Let's have a look. To begin with, I'm going to be looking back through the year. Have a look at how many minis I painted. I'm going to pick out some of my favourites to talk about further, and then we're going to move on to some questions I got from Instagram. Some of you over there asked me some questions which are quite interesting, and then we're going to look into next year and see what we've got for the year ahead. So let's dive straight into January and the beginning of the year. So we started the year by painting a Venerable Dreadnought for my Dark Angels army. We also painted Ghazghkull, Thraka and Makurai, 3 Eliminators, 10 Hellblasters, and Malanthrope, my Primaris captain, and a Tyrannofex. I also painted Mephiston as a commission for this month. In February, I painted 3 Blade Guard veterans, a Primaris Lieutenant, a Chaplain Terminator, a Blade Guard Ancient, 3 Hive Guard, 3 Zoanthropes, and a Ravenwing Champion. Moving into March, we painted 1 Saurus Warrior. I also painted a Saurus Old Blood, Gorzak Gitstomper, an Iron Man model, along with Spider-Man, Red Skull, Captain America and Dr. Octavius. There were also 2 commissions this month in the shape of a rock dude from the board game Gloomhaven and an Orc Shaman. Then in April we slowed down a little bit and only painted Venom, a Retro Termagant and Belial. We also painted 1 commission model which was a 40k Skaven conversion thing. Then in May I painted the Incredible Hulk, a Storm Speeder, 3 Outriders and 4 Ravenwing Knights. At the end of May I moved house and into this lovely space. Which is why June was a lot slower in terms of the number of models that I painted. In fact, I kind of did the opposite that month and stripped my entire Orc army of their paint. I did, however, manage to paint 1 Runt Herd and a Burner Bomber that month. In July we painted 11 Saurus Warriors, 5 Orc Knobs, 10 Gretchen models, 3 Squighocks, 1 Bomb Squig and 1 Killer Can. This is also a fairly good month for commissions, as we painted 5 Kingdom Death characters and 10 Drukhari Hobgoblin looking things. In August I made a start on my Beast Snagger boys and painted 3 of those. I also painted Zodgrod Wart Snagger, 3 Deathcopters and an Adeptus Mechanicus model as a commission. This is also the month in which I got engaged, which is probably the most exciting moment of the year. In September we painted Ultron, a Lieutenant in Phobos armour, a Royal Warden, 3 Suppressors, an Impulsor, 3 Necron Warriors and 10 Infiltrator models. I also painted up the Orc Commando Kill Team from the recent Kill Team Octarius box set as a commission. And then easily the biggest month was October, in which we painted 1 Death Dread, Boss Snickrot, 51 Orc Boys, and then this lonely little Canoptek Plasmacyte. The month of November was spent only painting a Blood Bowl team, which was a commission for my most regular client over in America. If you'd like to see these models in more detail, I actually did a video in which I shared some tips on painting in general that focused on those models. December was also a pretty commission heavy month in which I painted 10 Black Templar, Assault Intercessors, and 10 Normal Intercessors, and 5 Sword Brethren models. The only model I actually painted for myself that month was the Red Gobbo. So in total this year I've painted 232 models, and that feels like quite a lot. I'm quite proud of myself, honestly. But which ones were my favourites? Let's take a little look. I picked 5 models to talk about in a bit more detail as my favourites for the year, as I think they each represent a significant part of my hobby painting journey this year. Coming in at number 5 is the Hulk. Now this is just a model I'm quite proud of. I feel like it's this model in particular in which you can see how well I've got to grips with painting green skin. I think there's quite a nice level of contrast with the skin. You've got really dark recesses and then really light, almost pale skin highlights. And I'm also pretty happy with the denim. Being colourblind, I forgot that his shorts are actually purple and I did them just blue, which in reality, blue jeans are a lot more easy to come by than purple ones, so that makes more sense anyway. But I'm actually really happy with the texture that I managed to achieve when painting the denim for these Hulk shorts. Number 4 is the Burner Bomber. I had never really painted any vehicles before unless they were bikes for my Raven Wing portion of my Dark Angels army. So painting this Burner Bomber was a huge step up, and I feel like I've unlocked my painting style for vehicles. The stippling effect that I used to create this weathered and kind of old look to the paint job on the plane has carried over into each of my vehicles since, including my Death Dread and the Impulsor that I painted for my Dark Angels army. And I think it really does work, quite frankly, and it looks kind of unique. When it comes to vehicles, people can often be intimidated by doing it with brush because it's going to take forever, so they normally end up using an airbrush, which makes a lot of sense. You're going to cover ground a lot more quickly, but using the stippling technique allows you to cover ground pretty quickly and quite effectively. If you're interested in how I paint my vehicles, I cover it in my battle damage video for my Death Dread, so I will put a link in the description or throw it up in a card or something, you'll be able to find it. Number 3 is going to be the Saurus Old Blood, in which I think I grew quite a lot, just technically. I feel like I really demonstrated to myself that I have a good understanding of brush control and colour theory in particular with this one. I was quite happy with the greens and the blues, how they played off each other, and I had my attempt at gold NMM for the first time, and I don't think it turned out too badly. It's not yellow enough. Looking back at it now, I could definitely improve, and I think I will try again in the near future, but for a first attempt I'm pretty happy with it. It just needs a bit of fine tuning. Number 2 is the Tuan effect. With this model I began to learn how to incorporate storytelling through your bases. Up until this point it had just been a way of applying some context to the models, making sure that they all exist within the same world. But this actually allowed me to tell a story. Just by adding that one little termagant that was running through his legs, it implied that he was part of something bigger. He's part of a swarm, part of an army. They're charging forwards together, not just this individual model. There are other creatures. There is a range of scales and sizes within this army. Yeah, it just taught me a lot about storytelling, and I think I've used it going forward. There's a model that I want to paint next year, which is a mech gun for my Orc army, in which I put it on a base. They don't normally come with bases, and considering the grots that come with it don't have a function in game anymore, I decided to use quite a large base and make it quite scenic. So we're working on this gun, and I think it looks pretty cool, and I'm quite excited to paint it. Now, perhaps unsurprisingly, number 1 is Ghazghkull Thraka, and that is for 2 reasons. 1, I learned that I could sink a lot of time into one model. I've always been a bit more of a speed painter. Whilst I get them to quite a good standard, I never spend that much time per model. Until this guy. I purposefully sat down and spent a long period of time on him and taught myself to really put in quite a lot of effort. It's my first time doing sub-assemblies as well, which actually helped quite a bit because it meant that I had access to skin that isn't actually seen on the model now, but I know it's there, so it's good to know it's painted, I suppose. The second reason is, without this model, my Orc army would not be what it is now. This model and doing the colour scheme I picked for it is what inspired me to strip my whole Orc army and start over and paint them all again, and that has been one of the best things I've done this year. Taking that army and making it my own properly. Whilst I did enjoy painting them when I first got them, what I've done with them now means a lot more to me, and I had a lot more fun with it, and it's something I can be a bit more proud of. And that wouldn't have happened if I had not painted GazGalThracker to begin with. Now, have we done this year on YouTube? Well, this year I've uploaded what I think to be a pretty decent number of videos, which is 33 videos. And easily the most successful video is the Squig Hog painting tutorial, which has currently got 3.5 thousand views. Incredible, considering some of the other videos I've uploaded this year have only got like 40 views, so a bit of a range there. But yeah, we've had quite a bit of success, and we've gained 393 subscribers this year as well. Now this seems like a good time as any to thank you guys for the support that you've given me this year. All 417 of you at the time of recording, I think. And thank you to all of the new subscribers that have made up that number of 393. I've really enjoyed not only watching the numbers and stuff go up and down, but those of you who have started to comment on the videos quite regularly. I've really enjoyed chatting to you guys and building up a little bit of a relationship. It's been great fun and something I look forward to for next year. And then there are those of you that have helped me financially as well. The few patrons I've got, I'm hugely grateful towards you. That little bit of income each month has been amazing. Also those of you that have bought my t-shirts or playing cards or anything, I know some of you have, and it means a lot, so thank you. Now let's answer a couple questions that I got over on Instagram. What was your favourite paint job of the year? Now this one is going to be GazGalThracker, like I just said, for what he represents. The paint job means a lot to me, but at the time I don't recall ever being quite so proud of painting a model. I was really proud of it. I did ruin it when I varnished it, because I used a spray can of varnish, and unfortunately it came out kind of like frost. It made it go all weird and ruined some of it, including the blood. I had these awesome strands of blood coming from the claw to the base, and a lot of people said that was their favourite bit about it. Unfortunately that snapped under the pressure of the varnish, so that's no longer there. But I've cleaned him up a bit. I haven't bothered reapplying that bloody strand, but yeah, he is my favourite paint job for what he originally was. It's not so good now, unfortunately. What is my favourite memory of the year? That's a pretty easy one. That's getting engaged. Easily my best moment of the year, I think. Which was my favourite faction when I started in the hobby, and then what is my favourite faction now? Well, when I started, I started by buying the Dark Vengeance box set, and that was similar to Indominus, which came out earlier last year. Wow, it's already last year. Which is, you get 2 armies, Warburg stuff is the starter set, and it came with Chaos Space Marines. They were pretty cool models, looking at the ones in that box, and a Dark Angels army. I chose to take the Dark Angels army further, so they're obviously what my original favourite was, because they're my babies, they're my first, well, they're my firstborn. Now in terms of what my favourite faction is now, that's a very difficult question, because I'm going to have to split it in 2, I think. We've got my favourite to play, which I'm going to say is Tyranids. I have absolutely loved playing with them. I just really enjoy the playstyle. And then to paint is going to be the Orcs. It could overall be the Orcs, but I haven't actually managed to play a game with them yet, so I don't know how they play. But in terms of painting, it is definitely them. They have so much character. I just really enjoy painting those green skins. So that's my current favourite faction. Paint, Orcs, play, Tyranids. The final question brings us quite nicely to the topic of 2022, and that is, what is my biggest goal for next year? I think overall my goal for next year is to make better videos. I would love to reach 1,000 subscribers, that would be amazing, but overall it is just going to be to improve these videos and to build more of a relationship with the subscribers I've got, because like I've said, that's one of my favourite bits about doing all this, the little conversations that we can have in the comments. It genuinely is great. Now, there are various minis that I'm looking forward to painting next year as well. So I thought it may be fun to take a look at those. And if any of these spark an idea for a painting video that you'd like to see me do, just leave a comment in the obviously comment section below, and I might use that as an idea for a video. So let's start with the non-Games Workshop models that I'm excited to paint next year. And we're going to go with these Humblewood miniatures. Ever since I saw the owl miniature for this set of minis, I had been obsessed and really wanted to paint them. They are so cute, they've got so much character to them. I am really excited to lay into those and get them done, because I don't even play D&D, so I have no way of actually using these models, but I'm just so excited to paint them. There was also a Kickstarter put out earlier this year by Bold Miniatures, in which they released 3 different minis. One was a pterodactyl and their rider, one was the Bat Packer, which is a humanoid bat with little babies in its backpack, and then there was also another one. Can't remember his name. Might just be called the Mind or something. It's a head in which the top has been cut off, hollowed out, brain's been taken out, and there's a little alien in there with like gear sticks controlling him. It looks really funny. I'm really excited to paint those 3 because they are just going to be display pieces, and it will give me a chance to really focus on the actual painting of it and try to improve what I'm doing. In terms of Games Workshop products, I'm really excited to paint the mech gun that I told you guys about earlier. I'm also really excited to finish off my squigs because I still haven't painted the knob on Smasher squig yet. I'm also excited to paint all of the cars and vehicles that I've got for my Orc army. I've currently got 4 different buggies and 6 bikes to paint. Some of them are primed, 2 of them aren't even built, but I'm really excited to paint that speed freak portion of my army. For my Dark Angels, I don't really have any plans as such. There's nothing more that I really want to buy for them. I'll probably end up picking up more Terminators at some point, but at the moment there's nothing planned. For my Tyranids, however, I do want to get an Exocrine. Still haven't got one. But I want to get one of those big chunky boys because they're meant to be amazing in the field. So I need to get one of those, and they look pretty fun to paint. I love the weird tiny little arms and the front. They look so stupid compared to the huge ones that they're using to stand up on. And as Games Workshop like to say at the end of the year, new army, excellent little marketing technique. I'm probably going to be building up my Necrons quite a bit. I've only done one Necron video on the channel. That's about how I came up with the colour scheme for the ones I've done, and from the Imperium magazine it is starting to snowball. I am really enjoying painting the Necrons. One of my planned videos for next year is how to paint the blades that some of the Destroyer models have, the Scorpec Destroyers. So new year, new army. Yeah, probably my Necrons are gonna actually become an army next year. So that's all I have planned for this video. I'm gonna wrap it up now. I hope you enjoyed the small chatty video rather than something informative. As I said earlier, leave comments for anything that you'd like to see me do next year. I'll consider everything. And I just want to say a huge thank you. It's been a pretty good year in terms of my YouTube stuff, and that's all down to you, the viewers and the subscribers. So thank you. Now you know what to do. Do all the YouTubey things. Like, comment, subscribe to see more videos. Check out the links in the description below to support the channel further through paid options and stuff. But more than anything, have a happy new year. Have a good fresh start. Start something new, improve, have a better year than the one just gone. And until next year, I'll see you later.